today we are cracking open a book that's, well, let's just say it gets a reaction. Some people see it as a masterpiece of strategy, and others, they call it a straight-up manual for manipulators. We're talking about Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. It's this ruthless guide to an invisible game, pulling its lessons from 3,000 years of human history.
Right from the jump, Greene doesn't ease you in. He throws this question at you. And this isn't some theoretical, philosophical thing. He's asking you, right now, to really think about it. Are you a player in the game of life, or are you just a piece getting moved around on the board? Because here's the really unsettling part of his argument. There are no sidelines. There's no opting out. Greene says the game of power is always being played all around you. And saying you're not interested? Well, in his world, that's a power move in itself. And honestly, usually a very weak one.
So, before we can even get to law number 1, we have to grapple with Greene's basic idea. Power is like gravity. It really doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It's acting on you right now in every single interaction you have. It's just there.
This quote pretty much blows up the whole idea of innocence, doesn't it? Greene points to children not as these pure, angelic beings, but as people with a built-in fundamental need for control. The warning he's giving is crystal clear. You gotta be wary of anyone who protests their own harmlessness just a little too loudly. They're often the most clever players in the room.
So if we accept that we're all in the game, what's the first move? For Greene, the answer is simple. You start with perception. Before you do a single thing, you have to control how you are seen. Your reputation isn't just a part of the game, it's the very foundation of your power.
Okay, this is a tough one for a lot of people to swallow. The idea that any attention is good attention. But the logic is brutal and it's simple. You can't have influence if nobody even knows who you are. Obscurity is the real enemy here. Power needs a stage, and you've got to fight your way onto it.
P.T. Barnum was the absolute master of this. The guy knew that the public craves a spectacle. I mean, think about the strategy. He hired terrible musicians to play outside his circus for free, which literally drove people to pay to get inside just to get away from the noise. He manufactured controversy just to stay in the headlines. Barnum wasn't just selling a show, he was selling his own infamous name. So at the end of the day, you have to build and protect your reputation like it's a fortress. Let it do half the work for you. If someone attacks you, don't get desperate. That just screams weakness. And always leave a little bit of mystery. It's like a magnet for attention. Okay, so you've captured their attention. Now what do? Greene says you have to prove your worth, not with fancy speeches, but with decisive action. Power is something you show, not something you just talk about. The logic here is all about psychology. When you argue with someone and you win, yeah, you might have changed their mind for a second, but you've also bruised their ego. And that resentment, that lasts way longer than their agreement. A powerful demonstration, though, well, that's just unarguable. Wow, in that one moment, Khrushchev didn't have to explain the climate of fear under Stalin. He made everyone in that room feel it. That terrifying silence was 1,000 times more powerful than any speech could have been. He won the argument with a single powerful action, and he turned the whole audience into part of his demonstration. And here's another kind of action, using the work of others. This is just a tragic tale of two geniuses. Tesla was maybe the more brilliant inventor, but he wanted to do everything himself. Edison, on the other hand, was a master of Law 7. He was a businessman who hired the best people, let them do the work, and then expertly took the credit, cementing his own legend while poor Tesla died broke. All right, now we're going to shift from the external world to the internal one. Greene is insistent that real power requires a mind that's free from emotional messes and pointless commitments. It's about getting control over yourself before you can even think about controlling others. This is definitely one of the book's most controversial laws. It just sounds incredibly cold, right? But Greene's perspective is purely strategic. He's saying that unhappy and unlucky people often create their own bad luck through destructive patterns. And if you hang around them, you risk getting dragged down into those same patterns. You have to protect your own energy and your own good fortune. This law basically treats your independence like a weapon. By refusing to pick a side, you make everyone try to win you over. You become the prize. And from that position, you get to call the shots. Your power comes from being impossible to pin down. And if you want a masterclass in this, look no further than Queen Elizabeth I. She was courted by the most powerful rulers in Europe. By never saying yes, but, and this is crucial, never saying a hard no either, she kept them all guessing. She used this game to forge alliances and keep England safe, all by staying uncommitted. Her independence was her greatest weapon. So now we get to the final, most advanced concept in Greene's whole philosophy. Once you've mastered your image, your actions, and your emotions, you can achieve the ultimate state of power. Formlessness. This is the absolute peak. I mean, think about it. What's more powerful, a rock or a river? The rock can be broken, sure, but the river, it just flows around it, goes over it, or eventually it just wears it down to sand. Power, according to Greene, is being the river. So what does this actually mean in practice? It means you can't get locked into one single strategy or one rigid identity. You know, water can be a gentle little stream or a devastating tsunami. It has no fixed shape, it just takes the shape of whatever contains it. Real power, Greene is arguing, is that ability to change your form to suit the moment and your opponent. This is the ultimate defense and the ultimate offense. If your enemy can't predict your next move, they can't possibly build a strategy against you. If you don't give them a fixed target, they have nothing to attack. You're always moving, always adapting, just flowing around obstacles on the way to your goal. And that brings us to the end. The 48 Laws of Power isn't a book about what's right or wrong. It's really just a field guide to how power works. Greene has laid out all the tools for you. The only question left is, what are you going to do? Will you use them for defense, for ambition, or will you just pretend they don't exist and let other people use them on you?